Good evening. Welcome to the National News Broadcast. I'm Kasani Balachandra.
And I am Thilina Udayaratna. For starters, we take a look at tonight's top stories. The Attorney General requests the Chief Justice to appoint a trial at bar for the central bank bond scam case. It is a great crime for the international community to consider the conclusion of terrorism as a war crime, the Mahasangha emphasized. The purchase of paddy in the Maha season commences. 16,655 million rupees worth of provisions have been allocated. Steps taken to establish a state institution for high-quality battery products using local graphite. An illegal armory raided in Katana Mirisvatta.
Moving on to those and other stories in detail. The Attorney General has requested the Chief Justice to appoint a trial at bar to try former Minister Ravi Karnanayaka, Arjun Mahendran, Arjun Aloysius and 8 others in connection to the central bank bond scam case. These remarks were made by Coordinating Officer to the Attorney General State Counsel Nishara Jayaratna. Coordinating Officer to the Attorney General State Counsel Nishara Jayaratna said that the Attorney General submitted charges alleging former Finance Minister Ravi Karnanayaka, former Central Bank Governor Arjun Mahendran, Perpetual Treasuries Limited owner Arjun Aloysius and 8 others to be tried before a special trial at bar for the case pertaining to the Central Bank Treasury bond scam relevant to March 29, 2016. Accordingly, she said that a written request was submitted to Registrar of the Colombo Magistrate in this regard today. Also, she said that the Attorney General requested the Chief Justice to appoint a trial at bar to hear the case at Colombo High Court. She also said that the Attorney General has indicated that a trial at bar was required as the accused of the case had caused major losses to the country's economy through their scheming and organized actions. Colombo Magistrates Court ordered to convene the investigation complaint relevant to Central Bank bond scam incident on the 18th of February. This order was issued when the relevant complaint was taken up before Colombo Additional Magistrate Bandara Nilumdeniya today.
A meeting between the Mahasangha and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa was held at Temple Trees yesterday to discuss on the resolution that is expected to be presented against Sri Lanka at the United Nations Human Rights Council session in the month of March. The objective of this meeting was to obtain advice and instructions from the Mahasangha on the future proceedings related to the report that consists of resolutions expected to be presented against Sri Lanka. Speaking at this occasion, Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that the human rights resolution has been formulated in a fraudulent manner by including erroneous views with the aim to bring shame on the country, though Sri Lanka ranks ahead among the rest of the world in successfully mitigating the spread of COVID-19. It was revealed that the UN Human Rights Commissioner has drafted the resolution by including 16 particulars with the intent to harm the sovereignty and victory achieved by the country. Venerable Professor Madagoda Abeyatissa Thera praised the Prime Minister for deciding to obtain the guidance and advice from the Mahasangha at such a decisive juncture. The Venerable Thera said that presenting counter-proposals to the Geneva Human Rights Council is inappropriate at this time, instead presenting a defense statement indicating the correctness of the nation in this regard would be more feasible. The Venerable Thera pointed out that a settlement related to the proposed resolution is harmful for the nation, therefore passing a Patriot Act and in the Parliament is more suitable by taking more time without restoring any settlements. Buddhist priests in other Buddhist countries have the ability to create an impact in this regard, and a fair solution can be reached through such a move. Venerable Bengamue Nalakathera said that the freedom achieved following the humanitarian operation should be ensured and protected. pointing out that the nation should also act considering the foreign policy followed by late former Prime Minister Sirimao Bandaranaike and late former Minister Lakshman Kadiragama. The Venerable Thera said that 30/01 resolution agreed by former Minister Mangala Samaravira would negatively impact on the country in the long run, pointing out that a problematic condition has been created with many factors, including the imposition of sanctions, suspension of movement between countries and assistance granted through foreign countries. Minister Vimal Veeravansa indicated the importance in increasing the number of countries which would vote in favour of Sri Lanka against the resolution. Minister Professor G.L. Piris said that even though issuing verdicts following trials is the normal process of justice, it is not justifiable that the conclusions have been reached before the decision of the resolution has been delivered. Venerable Kirinde Assaji Thera said that Islamic extremism and the failure to assign the eastern terminal of the Colombo port to India has worked in favour of the needs of the United States. Therefore, the country should request for more time in this regard. Venerable Nadagamue Vijay Maitri Thera said that Sri Lanka would be able to face this issue by achieving greater praise and admiration of the other countries. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa conveyed his gratitude to the Mahasangha for all the advice and guidance in this regard. Priority would be given for the advice and guidance from the Mahasangha and would act accordingly in the face of any challenges posed against the country. Ministers Vimal Veeravansa, Uday Gammanpilla and State Minister Lohan Ratwatta and Additional Secretary to the Prime Minister Chaminda Kularatne were present at this meeting.
The government's program to purchase paddy of this year's Maha season has been initiated at present. Accordingly, a total of 300,000 metric tons of paddy are expected to be purchased during the season, and provisions worth 16,655 million rupees have been allocated in this regard. The paddy purchasing program has been initiated under the instruction of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. With the intention to extend a special privilege for the farmers, the purchasing of paddy with higher moisture content will be continued, and the certified price rate of paddy has been increased by 2 rupees. Accordingly, 1 kilogram of samba and kiri samba with higher moisture content up to 14% have been priced at 52 rupees, while 1 kilogram of other varieties of paddy including nadu with the same moisture content have been priced at 50 rupees. 1 kilogram of samba and kiri samba with higher moisture content above 14% and up to 22% have been priced at 46 rupees, while 1 kilogram of other varieties of paddy including nadu with the same moisture content have been priced at 44 rupees. The paddy purchasing program has been carried out through small and medium-scale paddy mill owners under the guidance of district secretariats. The Treasury has already extended 2,000 million rupees for the first stage of the paddy purchasing program. Also, a statement issued by the Ministry of Finance has indicated that credit loans are expected to be provided through state banks to uplift struggling and malfunctioning small and medium-scale mills and to purchase paddy.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa took part in the parliamentary session upon his visit to the Parliament today. President Rajapaksa entered the chamber of the House with Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and listened to the speeches by the MPs for nearly an hour. This is the President's 4th visit to the Parliament since last August, following its inaugural session. In the meantime, responding to a query raised by opposition parliamentarian Hesha Vitanage, Minister Rohita Gunawardena revealed that a sum of 18.5 million rupees of revenue will be extended to the Sri Lanka Ports Authority from the Hambantota port for 99 years, which has been provided to China by the Yahapalana government. The previous government handed over the Hambantota port to China without even presenting a cabinet paper or presenting a proposal before the parliament for 99 years on lease. He also said that upon the instructions of the President and the Prime Minister, a decision was reached through a cabinet paper to hand over the management of the eastern terminal of the Colombo port to the Sri Lanka Ports Authority and to initiate the relevant process for the handing over.
The epidemiology unit has indicated that AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine has already been administered to more than 176,725 people in the country under the COVID-19 inoculation program. The AstraZeneca vaccination was initiated on January 29th. Today is the 14th day of the program. A total of 2,532 persons received the vaccine yesterday. The number of COVID-19 recoveries in the country has increased up to 66,211. Accordingly, the percentage of fully recovered COVID-19 patients in the country is at 91.06. Meanwhile, 8.42% of COVID-19 patients are receiving treatments at present, and this amounts to 6,124 patients. 9,052 fully cured patients have left hospitals from the beginning of this month up to now. 567 such patients have been discharged from the hospitals today. Another 536 COVID-19 patients were identified in the island today. 16,493 PCR tests were conducted yesterday. Accordingly, the total number of PCR tests up to now has reached to 1,863,216. Meanwhile, a total of 5 COVID-19 related deaths were reported in the country yesterday. The deceased have been identified as residents from Wattala, Colombo 5, Alutgama, Gampaha and Vellampitiya areas. Police Special Task Force officials who were withdrawn from prison duties due to the COVID-19 outbreak have been reassigned for their relevant duties. A flight consisting of 235 foreign tourists arrived to Mattala Rajapaksa International Airport from Almaty Airport in Kazakhstan today. They arrived in flight belonging to Kazakhstan's CAT Airlines. Also, 157 Ukraine tourists arrived to the country via Mattala Rajapaksa International Airport today. Amgoda National Infectious Disease Hospital was presented with the award for the immeasurable service rendered to protect Sri Lankans from the COVID-19 outbreak. The award was presented at the Most Admired Companies of Sri Lanka 2020 awards ceremony organized by the International Chamber of Commerce in Sri Lanka and the Chartered Accountants of Management Accountants and the Daily FT. The chief guest of this event was Sri Lanka Army Commander General Shavendra Silva.
Now, in the greater world out there, the coronavirus pandemic has killed over 2.35 million people and infected more than 107.4 million. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization has recommended using the vaccine developed by the University of Oxford and AstraZeneca, even in the countries tackling new variants of coronavirus. As the world is struggling to contain the pandemic, vaccination is underway around the world with the already authorized coronavirus vaccines. Meanwhile, 242 candidates' vaccines are still being developed worldwide, with 63 of them in clinical trials in the countries including Germany, Russia, China, Britain and the United States, according to information released by the World Health Organization. Accordingly, the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine has been recommended by the World Health Organization for use in all adults yesterday. The WHO Strategic Advisory Group of experts said the vaccine should be given in 2 doses, 8 to 12 weeks apart. The WHO has further indicated that the vaccine can be used in people aged over 65, which some countries have advised against. The Oxford vaccine has been observed as the vaccine for the world, as it is cheap, can be mass-produced and is stored in a standard fridge. However, it has attracted controversy on its effectiveness against new variants, whether it should be used on the elderly and how far apart the doses should be given due to a lack of data. The WHO Strategic Advisory Group of experts on immunization has been scrutinizing the evidence from vaccine trials. Its interim recommendations say the vaccine is 63% effective overall. Meanwhile, the United States has reported 27.28 million cases and 471,000 deaths, the highest in the world. India is the second worst affected country globally, with 10.8 million cases along with more than 155,000 deaths. Brazil followed with 9.6 million cases, reporting the world's second largest death toll of 234,000. Countries with more than 2 million cases include Russia, Britain, France, Spain, Italy, Turkey, Germany and Colombia. Countries with over 50,000 deaths include India, Mexico, Britain, Italy, France, Russia, Iran, Spain, Germany and Colombia.
A French nun who is Europe's oldest person has survived COVID-19 just days before her 117th birthday. Sister Andrea tested positive for coronavirus on January 16th but had not developed any symptoms.
Europe's oldest person is blind, a Catholic nun and now also a survivor of coronavirus. The French nun, Sister Andrée, will celebrate her 117th birthday this week.
Est-ce que ça vous a inquiété à un moment?
That's the spokesman for her care home in southern France asking her if she was scared. Her reply was that she didn't even know she had the virus. And when she learned she did, she wasn't afraid of dying.
J'ai pas eu peur parce que j'avais pas peur de mourir.
Lucille Rondon took the name of Sister Andrée when she joined a Catholic charitable order in 1944. David Tavella, the spokesman, says despite the virus, there'll still be birthday celebrations.
L'anniversaire de Sœur Andrée arrive.
Sister Andrée's birthday is taking place at a good time. It couldn't be a better time, because it will mark the beginning of big festivities that will be organised around the relaxed restrictions. Our residents will be able to get out of their rooms, eat together, participate in activities. And yes, Sister Andrée's birthday takes place just as this is happening, and this will allow us to bring everyone together once again. And we owe this to our eldest resident. It's very touching and relieving for the residents, for the families and for the care workers.
Et pour les professionnels aussi.
Now, in more local stories, the attention of the government has been directed to commence a state-owned company to produce high-quality batteries using graphite in the country. This decision was reached after ensuring that local graphite can be utilized to produce batteries with higher electricity capacity. This was revealed during a meeting held at Temple Trees with the participation of the head of the Presidential Task Force for Economic Revival and Poverty Eradication, Basil Rajapaksa. The National Primary Research Institute has revealed that high-quality batteries can be produced using local graphite through studies carried out under the direction of the State Ministry of Skills Development, Vocational Education, Research and Innovation on graphite in the country. Accordingly, a decision was reached to invest the necessary capital for the state-owned company through state institutions and government funds. Also, it was indicated that this should be assigned to local investors at a higher price in order to make this institute a profitable venture which would bring in high income into the country. By selling stocks of the state-owned company to a renowned international battery maker, the product would be able to attract the world market through their branding. Head of the Presidential Task Force, Basil Rajapaksa, said that measures will be taken to use existing resources in primary research institutes, Sri Lanka Nanotechnology Institutes, universities and Mines Bureau through a joint venture in planning product requirements while introducing innovations. State Ministers Sita Arambepula and Taraka Balasuriya were present at this occasion. The Ministry of Industry and National Enterprise Development Authority have jointly planned to organize a trade exhibition centering the commercial city of Colombo. This exhibition will be held under the concept Made in Sri Lanka, which was vested with the public recently. A media briefing on the proposed exhibition was held in Colombo today. The proposed exhibition is expected to be held centering the Foundation Avenue in Colombo 7 on the 13th and 14th of February. Facilities will be provided through the exhibition for the trading of goods under several fields including food, handicrafts, apparel and footwear, Ayurvedic products, fragrances and agri-products. The organizers have said that the proposed exhibition is expected to provide access for a wide market for the consumers and traders.
An illegal armory located in Mirisavatakatana was raided today. A suspect has been taken into custody during the raid carried out by the Gonahina Police Special Task Force. During the raid, 8 various types of firearms, 1,000 live ammunition, a few smoke grenades and 2 army uniforms have been taken into police custody. The illegal armory had been maintained at a house in a 50-acre coconut estate. India's International Police Branch has officially communicated that a suspect identified as Mohammad Nawaz, who was allegedly involved in a gunfire attack on Police Narcotics Bureau officials in Piliyandala in 2017, has been taken into custody. Police media spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana said that diplomatic-level discussions are underway over the repatriation of the suspect. A police constable was succumbed from the incident and several people, including IP Newmal Rangajiva, sustained injuries. 3 children were injured from the incident and an 11-year-old girl child succumbed upon hospitalization.
The State Trust Centre, also known as Rajavasa Trade Complex, established at the Narahimpeta Economic Centre premises, was declared open today under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The complex consists of 78 state and private trade institutes. The State Trust Centre has been constructed by expanding the exhibition centre of the State Trading General Corporation of Sri Lanka. The objective of this project is to facilitate the opportunity for the consumers to obtain quality goods and services of state entrepreneurs and local producers under one roof in accordance with the Vistas of Prosperity policy statement. This project also aims at making sure that to facilitate the opportunity for the local producers to access a wider market and uplift domestic producers. Unveiling the commemorative plaque, the President entered the newly established trade complex and engaged in cordial discussions with producers as well as consumers while visiting each trade stall in the complex. Ministers Bandul Gunawardena, Mahindananda Aludgamage and Ramesh Patirana and State Ministers Lasantha Alagiyawanna, Chanaka Wakkumura, Sashindra Rajapaksa and Channa Jayasumana were present on the occasion.
Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, requests to be cautious of certain individuals claimed to be pastors who deceive the general public for illegal profits and privileges. Addressing a media briefing held in Colombo today, His Eminence said that the traditional Roman Catholic Church would completely disapprove such individuals. Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, said that certain individuals who claim to be pastors have emerged across the country and have initiated various programs and means to attract public towards them. He said that as Catholic devotees, they completely condemn such fraudulent activities. He said that the public should be aware that the traditional Roman Catholic Church has no part or extend support in such extremist programs. His Eminence requested the political leadership of the country to regulate such entities who in the guise of pastors deceive innocent public for their money. His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit also shared views on the report of the Presidential Commission on Inquiry on Easter Sunday attacks. Archbishop of Colombo, His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit, requested the President to hand over a copy of the Commission report. He said that they would be able to provide answers for their community through the findings of the report as the community continues to become impatient. He said that they would resort to other options if the government and the Commission fail to provide justice for their community.
The Zonal Centre of the Sri Lanka German Technical College was declared open in Anamaduwa today. It was held under the patronage of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Unveiling the commemorative plaque, the Prime Minister engaged in cordial discussion with students and their parents. State Ministers Priyankara Jayaratna, Sita Aramepola, Sanat Nishanta, Lohan Ratwatta and Parliamentarians Ashoka Priyantha, Chintaka Mayadunne, Ali Sabri Rahim and Governor of Northwestern Province Raja Kollure were present on this occasion. Well, that's a wrap on tonight's Rupavahini English News. Join us once again tomorrow at the very same time. Until then, take care. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Good night.